Hello and welcome back to the Life Writing Podcast. In this episode of Let's Write About Now, Amber Houghton joins me to discuss veterans transitioning from active duty as well as developing the leader within. Hey Amber, welcome to the podcast. How's it going?
It's great, Chris. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I have to tell you first and foremost, I am so excited having you on. I asked, you immediately said yes. Tell us just a little bit about Miss Houghton.
Just a little bit about me. So I served 28 years in the military in ammo or munition systems. Primarily when I joined a male-dominated career field. So I'm quite comfortable around raising men. It's been quite a journey. I love every second of it. I wouldn't be where I'm at or who I am without any of the challenges that I've had. It's helped prepare me for finding my purpose after the military. And that purpose is developing young athletes, specifically in the football arena. That's where I found my home, and helping coaches find their leader within and develop their athletes' leader within. That is my passion.
Nice. So I need to pivot just a little bit. So you're mentioning football and coaches and athletes and all this good stuff. I am a football fanatic, okay? So, Miss Houghton, who's your NFL team?
My NFL team is not a popular one. It has been always the Jets.
Oh, that's not bad. I thought you were about to say the Cowboys or.
So it is when your son is a Cowboys fan.
Oh, okay. Your son is, not you. You are a Jets. Okay. Okay. Jets. Okay, cool. Do you have a college team football? Okay.
I usually go for whichever team my son is not going for. So I like the banter. I like the trash talking. When we watch football together, that's one of my favorite things, is to just get hyped and talk crap with my son.
Okay. No, I you like it. I love it. So when I saw the topic that you proposed with that athletic spin on it, sports, football in particular, it really got me amped up, and which made me a little more eager to hear what you had to say about that. But we're going to get to the athletic side of things. I would first like to know, because I have roots around the Air Force as well. What made you choose the Air Force in particular, and what would you say you gained most from the Air Force?
Okay, I chose the Air Force because my dad told me that it was a dumb idea to join the Marines. So when I was younger, so I had a very tumultuous childhood, and I bounced around a couple different homes. I never really had a place to call my own. My mom and my dad were both in and out of my life, depending upon what was going on. But when I was 15 and a half, I ended up finding myself out of a home and on my own, and very grateful to my friend's aunt and uncle who took me in and rented me a room as I tried to finish high school. I did graduate from high school. I worked 3 jobs, and my brother at the time had joined the Air Force and said they clothe you, they feed you, and they provide you a place to live. And I said, well, I really wanted to follow in my dad's footsteps. He was a Marine, and that was something I had always admired about him. And he had reached out and told me that was a dumb idea, and Marines was not the way to go, that I should join the Air Force. And so as soon as I turned 18, I joined the Air Force and I began my journey.
You began your journey, and you said of 28 years, right?
28 years.
So did you know after your first term or even your second term, did you know at that point, maybe close after your second term, that you were going to retire, and let alone retire was going to go 8 years past your earliest date or year you could retire?
I knew after basic training that I was going to make a career out of this.
Wow, really?
Yes.
After
It gave me
training.
a sense of purpose and direction.
I cannot knock that. Just a quick thought of me, right, with the Air Force. I can definitely relate to that because I specifically joined the Air Force to refocus. Let's just say my first go around in college, I played college football at Savannah State in Georgia, and let's just say I had a little fun. Um, I had too much fun. Grades were slipping, and I just lost focus. I started doing all types of things. I'm not going to delve into any of those. But the Air Force literally saved my life at that time. I did get that focus. I totally feel you on when you mentioned the sense of purpose and just the level of camaraderie that the military brings and offers. Period. It's unmatched to any other environment that I've ever been around. Let's transition. And speaking of transitioning, you mentioned those two passions that I touched on earlier. Veterans transitioning from active duty and the leadership, building that leader from within. But I want to focus on the veteran side of things, that transitioning part, right? At this juncture, Amber, what have you witnessed yourself? What have you heard about veterans transitioning?
So for me, in my experience, the transition was extremely difficult. I saw the train coming. I knew that, I started questioning, like, who am I if I'm not a chief? Who am I if I'm not a leader? Who am I if I'm not taking care of airmen? And it just so happens that sometimes life throws you not one curveball, but multiple right in a row to try and see how much you can handle. So I think it's important, when we join the military or we serve, we spend our formative years developing our sense of self and our identity. And so when we retire after 28 years and all of a sudden we come to this halt, we have to re-examine who we are, where we came from, what's important to us, how we've grown. It's a complete reset. And so it's very hard when all of a sudden everything that you've held dear and the servant leadership and the people around you, the family that you've friends and coworkers that you've now decided are family, right? And everything just stops. And if you've ever PCS'd or moved from one location to another, eventually things kind of teeter off, and the friends that are meant to stay in your life for a long time. But a lot of that needing you goes away. And so when you transition to being a civilian, all of that it's cold turkey. It stops. And you may get the one or two people that call and check on you, but you're not surrounded by the camaraderie. You're not surrounded by the military family anymore. And it's just you alone with your thoughts. Things start to come out that you've kind of pushed away and buried into Pandora's box on the experiences that you had while serving your country. Some of us have a partner in life to rely on. Some of us have kids. Some of us lose everything, in a row. So for me, I lost the identity of being a chief, of being a leader, of being an airman. In turn, so while I'm trying to fumble and find my way through that, my 21-year marriage ended. And so I lost my identity as a wife, which, divorce is hard on kids. Kids take it a certain way, and you have additional struggles with that. And so it was like one thing after another, all within probably about 9 months after I retired. And so finding yourself at the bottom of the barrel, if you will, or in a deep hole like that, and trying to figure out, okay, how do I lead myself out of this, right? Because nobody's coming to lead you out of this. You've got to find that internally. And so in the military, we had structure and discipline, and we had an enterprise or an organization around us that helped us lead ourselves if we were in a position where we we needed that extra boost. Well, when all of these identities disappear, it's just you. And you have to figure out how to lead yourself out of that.
Right. Right. Wow. Yeah. No. Awesome breakdown, and I can personally attest to a lot of that. I was one and done. Right. One term. I was done 4 years, and unlike you, I I I knew I was out before I went in. I went in to get some more money, get it was finances, focus in finances, right?
Mhm.
Full stop. It worked out for me. I stuck to the plan for the most part, so it worked out. I'm thankful for that. I say it that way because I was only in that mode uniform for 4 years, unlike you guys who were in it a significant amount of time. To your point, no, this is what you knew. You're talking 28 years. That's all you know, and like you said, being in that type of structured environment, and the people that you report to, the people that report to you, the families, we use the word camaraderie, that familial type of environment that's created. That's what's so difficult. And that's why when I hear you guys who have been in the military for so long, and that life has become, that's your lifestyle, right? So I can really see how difficult, I say that loosely as well, it can be to transition from something that you've been doing 20, 25, 28 years. Wow. So, Amber, you have been there, done that. You're in the throes of it now. You're all types of activities going on, and you're meeting with coaches, athletes, etc. What are you doing specifically to assist veterans to transition?
So part of what I developed was a Reset and Rise program to help veterans find their why. And then once you've found your why, or what your new purpose is, right? Then we can start to work on a way forward where you can lead yourself through the next chapter of your life. It's so important to understand that you're not alone in this journey. We are all going through this, and there's so many avenues, and it hurts my heart to think that anybody is out there just suffering in silence. And so this program is specifically for veterans who are looking to reset and rise into the next chapter of their life.
Reset and rise. I had to whip up a banner right quick. So this program, now I'm really curious. Where is it? Is it local? Is it national yet? Statewide? What are you doing?
So it is available to anyone who would like to enter. I do one-on-one coaching, and I tailor this program to what you need and what your situation is. And so it consists of a one-on-one discovery call where I sit down with you, and and this can be via Zoom, it can be in person, it doesn't matter, it can be on the phone, and just kind of figure out where you're at and how I can help you help yourself. Because this isn't about me leading you. This is about me teaching you through story, through experience, through example, through all of the education and knowledge I have regarding leadership, so that you can lead yourself through this tumultuous time. Because when we transition, it is very tumultuous. It is a significant emotional event in our life, and we play it off like it's not. And again, it is. We lose our entire identity that we built. And it's time to rebuild yourself. And the good news is you can rebuild yourself however you want to. It's the infinite possibilities.
You can rebuild yourself however you want to. Infinite possibilities. I absolutely love that. And I would definitely, well, first and foremost, as I do with any guest who has some type of venture, be it for-profit, nonprofit, or whatever, I make sure I do my part in promoting, marketing, getting the word out. You retired in 23, right?
Mm-hmm. March of 23.
So you launched this Rise and Reset and Rise when?
Last February is when May is when I started the business. And until then, I had just been, as people interacted with me, I would pass on wisdom or knowledge or just listen. Sometimes we just need to be heard. That's it, just seen and heard. And so once I realized that there was a need out there for this, I started formulating an actual program where we cover down on the 4 different aspects of it's got to be holistic, right? It doesn't work if we only hit the physical piece. We need to hit the mental, the emotional, the spiritual, whatever resonates with you. I truly believe that it has to be that whole person. It can't just be a piece of the person. So from there, I just started helping. If you are open to having a conversation about it, then let's talk. I think that being able to be seen, heard, and valued is one of the things that we want most in life. Whether we're a veteran, whether we're an athlete, whether we're a coach, whether we're an employee or a boss or a CEO, doesn't matter to me. We all just want to be seen, heard, and valued, and know that we matter.
And seen, heard, and know that we matter. Wow, yeah. I mean, we can pivot in so many directions with this. It's so multifaceted, and I'm just glad, there are people, such as yourself, out there doing something. There's a lot of folks, running the chops and criticizing and critiquing everyone else. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Right? Yeah. No matter how small, if you move and change and assist one person, it can have that domino effect, if you will. So I'd like to know more about the leadership, that leader, building that leader for self, right? How should I phrase this? The easy question is how that came about. And along those lines, what happened to make you, think in that vein, like, well, hold up, this guy, this gal has this, and that, but they're missing that extra edge, or that, taking themselves to the next level of leadership, even if they're in a leadership role. Like, what was it? A point in your career that this idea came to you? Like, what's the origin of that?
So the origin of leading yourself is for me, happened when I lost all of my identities at one time, and my children were very upset with me over the divorce and the transition that they had to endure as well. When we are alone, or when we isolate ourselves, or when we're going through some really tough times, and you just feel like there's no light at the end of the tunnel, and we look externally for the light, like someone's going to not necessarily come save us, but be there, or know how I'm feeling, or reach out to me and know, we have these unrealistic expectations that people know what's going on with inside of us, right? Mm-hmm. So the realization to me was, no one is going to save me but me. No one knows what's going on inside of me but me. And I only share with you as much as I feel safe to share with you, or as much as I want to share with you. It can be received a bunch of different ways, depending upon what your experience in life has been. So the leadership within yourself, like, you have to find that within you. And part of the Reset and Rise program helps bring that out. Is, what's my why? Why do I continue to do these different things? I'm very good with pattern recognition, so I can tell when I'm starting to feel triggered, or something's coming from the past forward, and I need to shine an extra light on it to help myself heal. But it's that moment where you're just sitting there and you think you're at the lowest point of your life, and you have a choice. You can lead yourself through that, or you can stay stuck. And if you're stuck, you're not growing, then you're dying. And I want to live.
Right.
So for me, it was that moment when I lost all of my identities, and I was sitting there saying, I don't know if I want to do this anymore.
Right.
And you have a choice. We all have a choice.
It's so amazing. Yes, we all have a choice. All have a choice. And it's so amazing how certain ventures are birthed, how they come about. And it's usually, I shouldn't say that. Statistically, that's not true. I was about to say it's usually when you're at the lowest of low. So it can be, because it makes you, like you mentioned, look to self. Turn that thing inwardly and pull that light out of there, because it is there. It's there, maybe a little dim, depending on what we're going through or what we just endured. But the fact that we're here is proof that we got past, we overcame. That's what we tell a lot of the guys that we mentor. It's like, dude, you're talking about it. You feel that way because you're in it now.
Right.
But there was something last week. Hell, there may have been something yesterday. But you're here. You got through it. You got over it. So just keep those things in mind and build on it. With that, build it. What do you envision? Like, how is that going to look ideally, right? In the coming years, 5, 10 years, whatever.
So for me, it's a community. I envision a community where people feel safe to say, hey, this is where I was at. This is how I got myself through. This is where I'm at now. These are some of the things I still struggle with. But I don't think we were ever meant to do this life alone. And I'm a firm believer, and it takes a village. And it doesn't just take a village to raise your children. It takes a village to support you, and you support others. And that community tie is what helps us be, stronger together. And I will always advocate for that in a positive way. But I believe that community is the heart of being able to grow, not just yourself, but grow with others. So for instance, there's a lot of people out there that I meet, and sometimes someone will trigger me, and sometimes it's not about them, it's about me. And so it's like they're holding up a mirror and saying, hey, Amber, you still need to work in this area. So without people, though, I wouldn't have that. So if I'm not out there and I'm not talking with people and I'm not engaging with people and I'm just putting myself on isolation island, I am stealing my own growth away from myself, if that makes sense. I'm not giving myself the opportunity to grow.
Isolation island. So when I'm, meeting with people, interviewing people, I have guests on such as yourselves. Oftentimes when I'm off camera, I'm taking notes. I'm taking it in. You guys drop some amazing dimes and the analogies that some folks be coming up with. I'm like, I love the words, and I'm a wordsmith. I'm a writer, poet, self-proclaimed. Speaking of which, I'm really about to pivot right quick.
Okay.
I've seen some of your writing, particularly, of course, on Facebook. And Amber, I would tell you, not only does the poet in me see the level of creativeness, the thought-provoking, words, the phraseology, again, all of that wordsmithing, right? Making there's nothing like making words rhyme like that. Anyway, your pieces they're crazy motivational and inspiring. I have to ask, when did that creativity come about? How did it come about?
So when I started this business, I became part of this amazing group called Empire Partners, and they help coaches build their business from the ground up correctly, so that you don't ever have to go back and re-engineer anything. So they're extreme. This community is extremely supportive, knowledgeable. Entrepreneurship is not for the weak. I will say that it is a very hard thing to go out on your own and just build something. The cool thing about the Air Force was, like, again, that structure was provided. Everything was there for me. I was a plug and play. Building something from the ground up has been quite the journey. And so there is this wonderful lady, and she's now my friend. Her name is Talia Reiser, and she is a social media expert and coach. And she told me, Amber, you need to be on social media. And I was like, Talia? For 28 years, I was told not to get on social media. We were, from the inception of that, the Air Force was like, only motivational stuff, only positive stuff, don't speak your mind, things like that, right? And so for me, especially having a security clearance, right, we really have to be careful about what we're posting on social media. And so I just shied away from it as a whole. And I never wanted to be the kind of writer that just, trauma dumps or is negative or anything like that. Everything that I'm feeling, I want to put into the words that are going to help someone else through whatever they may be going through. And that's always been my goal. But I will say Talia is the person who said, Amber, this is what we're going to do. And I was like, none of this feels comfortable. I'm itchy. I want to throw up sometimes every time I make a post because it's so vulnerable. And I feel like people can see me in my posts. And she said, then that's how you know you're doing it right. And she has an amazing program that helps you with your origin story. It helps you really get in touch with who you are, where you've been, and where you want to go. And I will tell you, I never expected this journey on social media to be so healing, and it has been. And don't get me wrong, there are posts that mess me up, and for 2 days after I've shared something, I'm still kind of reliving it and trying to figure out what's going on inside of me. But this has been the best journey I didn't want to take.
The best journey I didn't want to take.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, something else I've seen in your writing, and you mentioned a few things just then. Have you ever thought about acting?
So, in the military, I have had more than one person say, you need a show. So I don't know if it's the storytelling. I'm not sure. I did start a book. I was encouraged to start a book. And so I'm on chapter 5 of my book. It's also been quite a journey. It is so healing to finally say some of these things out loud.
So therapeutic. Yes.
Yes. That I have just been holding on to for decades. So to finally be able to give it a voice has been very, very therapeutic and healing.
Yeah, giving it a voice, and folks don't realize what writing does. Just writing in general, it literally helps to get it out.
Yeah. So it wasn't always that way, right? And I was told you should journal, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna journal. But then there's these things around journaling where I would feel bad if I missed a couple days. I would be disappointed at myself. I'd come back and be like, man, I suck at journaling. And so I was really grateful because Ryan Lang and Brooke Bishop at Empire Partners, they were like, there are so many apps out there nowadays. Just open your phone and just speak into your phone. And so we always have the phone. The phone is, I don't know too many people that are just without a phone by choice. So just grab an app, open it up, and just speak to it. And that's a way for you to be able to purge some of those things that you're holding on, because you don't want to store it in your body. There's a lot of science around stress and what it does to your body and the negative effects it has on your body. not just, your mental and your emotional health, but your physical health too. And so
Absolutely.
by being able to, again, give it a voice, get it out, whether you're speaking to an app, whether you're journaling, whether you're writing, whether you're talking to a friend, a stranger, it doesn't matter. Just get it out so that you don't inadvertently put yourself on that isolation island, because it's lonely there, and you don't have to suffer in silence. None of us do.
It is very lonely, right? There's no need to suffer in silence.
No.
There's so many, and the older I get, that's one thing that I realize too. For one, everyone is going through something, varying levels, degrees. Okay, get it, got it. But everyone is dealing with something. So you're never alone. And those folks who, they say that the proverbial, the misery loves company kind of thing. Well, not to hearken on the misery side of things, but no, when you're down, to have someone who can relate in some form of fashion, even though they're dealing with something totally different. But it's just that state of mind, that commonality that that tends to bond people. Hence, another reason why it's very important to have an outlet, have your support system. Those girls and those gals, those guys who you can go to and virtually tell anything. I'm blessed to have a circle of buddies who are, I say buddies, they're my brother friends. They're friends, they're brothers, they're all of that, all in one. Each and every one of them I can go to about literally anything, right? No judgment-free zones, right? Now they're going to tell me what I need to hear.
Yes.
They're not gonna sugarcoat anything, which another, great thing to have. But anyway, not to digress. I just what you said totally resonated with me. I'm gonna leave it at that before I go off on a tangent, because I can. Anywho, I'm gonna get ready to get you out of here. But I'm really enjoying this information. The ventures that you've started, you're writing your book now. Congrats again. I know it was a couple years ago and your retirement. I didn't say that initially, but I former enlisted as well. So my Chiefs are near and dear to me. It's kind of to close it out. Those transitioning from the military to civilian life, those internal untrained systems of leadership that you work with your clients on and with, like any closing words around that?
So I will say it 1,000 times. You're not alone in this journey. Someone is out there that has experienced something similar to what you're going through. Don't let fear, don't operate from a place of fear and let that hold you back. Try to move forward from a place of love. I know that sounds a little cliche or woo-woo or whatever, but when we're operating from a place of love, it's not just for others, it's for ourselves. And so for me, I found servant leadership, I found serving others to the best avenue to help me find that love for myself again. And so when I was able to get to a place where I'm acting from a place of love and not out of a place of fear, because when we do leave the service and we transition, there's so many unknowns, and you're just operating in the dark and unknowns. And so when we're able to operate from a place of love instead of fear, it makes navigating the uncertainties a little bit easier, especially if we come from a place of curiosity. and understanding and giving grace to ourselves, because this again is a very hard journey. This is not an easy journey, and it applies from anyone who's having that significant change in their life. Even for athletes, who have played football their entire younger years from the ages of 5 until 24, and all of a sudden they're done. And who are they without football? Who are you if you're not a CEO? Who are you if you're not a mom or a dad? Like what makes up you? And be curious and get to know yourself that on that level. The same that you would get to know a friend or someone that you came across that you're like, I really want to be in that person's life. Do that to yourself. Find out who you really are underneath all of these different masks that you've had to put on throughout your life. Get back to the roots.
I absolutely love it. And again, can definitely relate. I'm one of those self-proclaimed lifelong learners. So I just feel, and I've always felt that, you can learn from so many people, no matter their backgrounds, what they're doing, the state. You can learn from a homeless person on the street. He or she were once doing something. Bundles of knowledge. I've come to find that out in a lot of inner cities. I will approach anyone, like anyone. Anyway, the latter of what you just said, though, finding yourself, finding out, who you are. I'm 52 years old, and there are still some discoveries, right? And I'm not afraid to search. I'm not ashamed to even say I realize XYZ about myself. And those are some of the things that, again, I know I do with some of my mentees. I talk about and talk through some of those things, having your support system, working on yourself, looking within first, right? Knowing that, you do have the wherewithal to get through something, because it's going to come.
Yes.
Just a matter of time. It's going to come. And to your point, several minutes ago, it may come in 2s or 3s. It may hit you all at once, but you have the wherewithal to take care of it, and you're never alone. You're never alone. Chief, I had to call you Chief on that. And Amber, this has been it's been an honor to have you on here. Thanks for breaking this information down. I've seen everything, a facet of everything that you just shared, and I just love the fact that there are people out there like you who are picking up the mantle and doing something about it, making it actionable, and finding that passion work and going forward. So I appreciate you so much for coming on here.
Oh, I appreciate the invitation. This has been my honor, to be honest. Giving the platform and the conversation to be able to spread the message is, I'm extremely grateful.
Well, I'm glad you are seemingly as grateful as I am. And to the audience, hey, thank you guys for continuing to support and watching this video. Like the video and any other recording that resonates with you. Leave a comment and share. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. The Life Writing Podcast, as you guys know, is another way we creatively inform and inspire, helping people write the lives they desire. Till the next time, take care.
Take care.